First of all, let's start with the issue that happened over the weekend in State House. Some critics are saying that the government or the president himself, he's massaging with his empowerment programs. And now, the empowerment programs that have been going round, zimefika Nairobi sasa, and they happened over the weekend in State House. Some people are saying that it's just mere PR, that the motorbikes that were there on display, the washing machines that were there on display, zinarudi kwa the warehouses. Is this true? And for you, is this empowerment working, or is it just a PR gimmick for politicians?
First of all, excuse me. First of all, I'm grateful for the time and the opportunity to at least address the nation concerning this activity. I'm called Honorable Professor Kotonde, a political analyst within the country, and also an aspirant come 2027 for Waraka constituency. I want to tell you that what the government is doing under his patronage, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, is a great plus. And anybody somewhere thinking that it is just a political PR, then you are equally behind time. If I can take you back, the other day, the Kasarani MP, Engineer Dr. Oscar Sudi, did the same in a bigger way. So many investors were there. Why do you say that this was not wrong? It happened. The youths benefited. Many people living with disabilities benefited. Where is the problem? The very day, some days ago, 2 days, 3 days, the Kikuyu MP, Kimani Chungwa, did the same in a bigger way. Where is the problem with that? Now, when the president himself saw it wise to at least engage the great people of Nairobi, which is just the immediate chapter and the center of power, where is the problem? Let us be people who are great patriots. We cannot be the people who are looking for opportunities, yet when the opportunities are availed by the very own president, we are here yapping, fighting, and even questioning so much. Why do we have to go that road? Yeah? When he does the right thing, some are complaining. I am telling you, and I'm telling the great nation, that what the president did, bringing the motorbikes on board, the machines, to the youths of Nairobi, those things are not PR. Those guys were given, and I know personally the people who benefited from this project. And nobody should now get out of this space and say that the president was just giving a PR. No, there is no PR there. It is a youth empowerment, and I want to challenge other area MPs, the Warakas, the Kasaranis, the Harambee town, Kisumu town, Garissa town, and all that, Turkana, West, North, whatever, to do the same, because there is a lot of money which should be used to empower the youths of this country. Yes. Anybody thinking and trying to thwart that, you are the one against the development of this country. Yeah. Because president in his conscious mind, which I know he is, cannot do something to tame or to just blackmail himself. Because he's surrounded by economists, he's surrounded by politicians, he's surrounded by even different brains cutting across this country. So you cannot just tell me that you can just wake up and do such a thing, a bigger thing in the limelight of camera, just to fool. We had investors there. Yeah, you can't. We had great businessmen and women there. We had philanthropists, so many of them there. You can't tell me that those people can just be brought on board without proper ways of doing things. And then I want to challenge the MPs, the MCAs, the governors and women reps, plus the senators, to check away, because you have so much. You have a lot of things which should be done by each of us who are elected, selected, erected, and even nominated. Yes.
So, moving forward now to the former DP, Gachagua. He's now in the US for 2 months break, but he'll be coming back to the country soon. And we've heard from the current CS of Interior, Kipchumba Murkomen, and the current Deputy President, Kithure Kindiki.
Yes.
They say that he needs to be arrested once he lands to the airport so that he can record a statement with the DCI regarding towards the comments that he's saying in the US. Do you think these calls for arrest for DP Gachagua, are they substantiated, or is just a political reaction to the things that he has been saying while he was in the US?
Two things which ought to have happened much earlier. In the year 2017, when Miguna was going against the virtue of patriotism, it was well seen by everybody in the country that Miguna is not a Kenyan. It happened so. He left the country way back. He went to Canada and overstayed there. He has been there, and then he came back looking for the position of governor Nairobi. No problem with that. What ought to have happened to Gachagua was this. One, Gachagua, because he has portrayed himself as the chief tribalist, even beyond the borders of our country, Kenya. He has betrayed us. He has urinated on us. He has thwarted and thinned the government of the day, which is legit. He has also sat on our constitution, which is equally a betrayal in the foreign land. Gachagua should be stopped from landing into the Kenyan soil. Gachagua and his cronies should be jailed. Gachagua and his cronies ought to be kept away from us, because anybody following Gachagua should be termed as a chief tribalist who should not even be given an ear. Because you can't tell me that when your parents are naked, you can go to the neighbor and inform the neighbors that your parents are naked in our African culture. It doesn't work like that. We know that we have challenges in the country, but you can't tell me that you can get your guts and move with your balls to the foreign land, who happens to be our colonialist, who did a lot of harm to us. You go to their land that you are seduced with some little token to say such bad stuffs. Surely, which country are we?
Yeah.
How can you dare go to your neighboring states, very far, millions of kilometers, to just assassinate and rape the character of your country, and then you want to tell me that you're a national leader? Where? Surely. How can you? It's like our country, our president, our constitution, our institutions, he has urinated on them, all of them. Why do you have to take such as person of interest who can even represent somebody? I really concur with the virtue of him being impeached. He is worth being impeached 20 times. And there is no way by which he can be allowed to vie for imposition, because he has portrayed himself as tribalist. He has portrayed himself as a nepotic person. He has also betrayed himself as a very corrupt in mind, corrupt in reasoning. We don't have to accept and go that road. When there is a problem in your own state, you come with ways of solving these problems, than going to the neighboring state, then urinating, removing our clothes and making us naked more than we can imagine. He is the one who even came with the issue to do with NATO. Yeah? He is the one propagating that we need to get out of the NATO. The question I want to ask, when we were getting to NATO, was Gachagua part of the team who negotiated for the same? That's the question I need to know. Was he part of the negotiating people? He was not part of the negotiators. And I want to tell anybody, everywhere in this country, following Gachagua, the moment you are following Gachagua, we are terming you as chief tribalist too. We don't want to sell this country to foreigners. We don't have any other country where we can go when this country is burning. We don't want to go the South Sudanese way. The Sudanese people are just barely 14 years of independence. For us, we are 62 years plus. We cannot be talking about tribalism. We cannot be talking about people propagating the same. We should be talking about a united Kenya, an inclusive Kenya, a peaceful Kenya, where everybody around this globe is willing and ready to come and do a lot of investment. That is the Kenya we want to see.
Yeah.
So I want to also inquire and request our very own DCIS to go for Gachagua so that he can come and substantiate his statement the moment we land right into this country. Let him be jailed, be grilled, and then he face the full wrath of the law, because we have constitution and institution which we must respect and adore fully. We don't want to go anywhere where other states are because of tribalism. Tribalism brings countries down. Tribalism brings cities down. Tribalism brings corruption high. Tribalism brings a lot of problems and the good things you can imagine in this country.
Yeah. So let's now finish on the issue of our national football team, Harambee Stars. We've seen they have superseded the most expectations of Kenyans. They are now in the quarterfinals.
Yes.
And some people are saying most likely they can go all the way to even carry the cup because of the kind of motivation that the president has been giving them. But also some are saying that this token of appreciation that they've been given is not sustainable in the long term. Basing that CHAN is a tournament that has only local league based players and the local league is not fully supported by the government, what do you think the government can do moving forward, and also the current performance of the national team? Do you see them going all the way to the finals as we finish up?
Very good. I want to tell you, Ochino, that first thing first, as Kenyans and as great patriots of this country, we must accept and appreciate what the president and his team did. One, we were having no good stadiums. Right now we have very good stadiums and they're being built across the country. Two, we were not electing and selecting great players. We were doing it in terms of tribal lines, which Gachagua has been propagating. Right now you see the coach himself, because charity begins at home. When you want to cut the tree, you don't start from the top, you start from the very base. The moment our government went ahead and hired Mark Kathy as the chief head of football Kenya, that is the time I knew that Kenya Premier League Harambee Stars will go far. This thing has been politicized. This position has been tribal lines, all has been in corrupt means of hiring these people. But the moment Kathy came in, I knew we will carry the day. I want to tell Kenyans that when Kenyatta was the president, he came out with a different sports activity, which he promoted so much that time, the golf and the likes. When Moi came into power, from 1978, these are histories. He promoted athletics, he promoted golf, and also partly safari rally, where even his son, Jonathan, paid his price in all capacities in supporting that. When Kibaki came into power 2002 up to 2013, he promoted, because Kibaki was a stylish and a well-distinguished and polished fellow, he promoted golf. We were seeing so many golfers around and about. When Uhuru came, Uhuru promoted partly football, partly athletics, but he did a lot in golf and safari rally. Where is the problem? When the fifth president, His Excellency the President, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, the only doctor in the history of Kenyan presidency, promoted Kenyan football. Where is the problem? Now that he's also promoting the athletics. I am just telling Kenyans that what the president is doing, some are seeing that it is not sustainable. My friend, this thing is quite sustainable. 9 million is no money to this government. There's a lot of money in this country. Where is the problem? When our very own Kenyans, no Ugandans, no Americans, are promoted into giving the best, because under sports, the country is united. Under sports, we are a united country, more than anybody. I saw, and I've been there for the last 2 games. The Angola games, I was there personally. The Moroccan games, I was there personally, and I'll be there inshallah on Sunday, the Zambian game, which I know we are also going to win. Where is the problem when the Kenyans are coming together to watch, support, and give the cheering squad for our own, very own, and very, very own sportsmen and women in this country? Where is the problem? Where is the problem when our very own sportsmen are living well, even beyond the fields? We have seen the likes of Oliech and others crying foul. Some are dying poor. Where is the problem when these people can give their best and a lot as being seen in other international countries like Chelsea team, Manchester United, Arsenal? They are being paid and they're living lavishly, living well. We have seen the likes of Ito. When he's done with his activities in the US and whichever, when he came back home, that guy is like a president himself because he is not living in an abject poverty. Where is the problem when our very own president promotes football by giving the best to our very own sportsmen? Where is the problem? Do you want these people, once they are done with their activities during their youth, they now live in abject poverty, start looking for assistance in the streets? Do you want them to be so? We want to appreciate His Excellency the President plus the team. Continue giving the best, continue investing in this, continue building even an 80,000-seater stadiums in this country so that we can empower more, we can nurture talents, we can embrace the change that we can not only watch the international games, yet we have raw talents, we have uncensored talent, we have untaped, which as we speak right now, majority of our youths are really praying and saying that one day, one time, they will be like the Omondis. One day, one time, they will be like the Oliechs. One day, one time, they will be like the Olungas. Right now, even the international space are here in the country because they are seeing the way we have the raw, the unfinished, untapped talents courtesy of this chan. I'm really sad if someone somewhere sitting while sipping changa saying that the government is doing a lot of harm by dishing out these tokens to our very own sons and daughters of this land. I want to tell the president to continue doing the same. I want to encourage and then tell our very own counties to embrace what the president is doing here, so that down deep into the counties we have unfinished talents. Let them also do the same, so that we have a bigger academy. We should be having football academies like it is happening in the European countries. We should be having those ones. Those are the things we need to talk about. You are talking about a bad thing, but where's the solution? A solution can be a football academy. We start nurturing these people from the lower side. Someone might not be academically endowed, but this person can be so good right from the early years. That is where we have the Ronaldos. Some of them are not learned fellow, but they are so good in terms of the talents. They are doing well in terms of their talents. That's what I want to say.